Hey, people seem to like that other video I put up, history of the farm. I just thought I'd put up another one with some old photos from a kid's perspective. Me, when I was a kid, uh, things I did on the farm and whatnot when I was under 5 or 6. Anyhow, and me and a friend of mine, my neighbor Steve, we had a lot of fun, hours and hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks, playing playing with our toy tractors, dirt toys he called them, and the lower barn down there. We had a huge farm set up, different fields, and good grief, hours and hours down there. So I'll show you some of my old tractors that I've restored. And here's a couple pictures of me growing up. Some of Dad when he was young. Don't have any when he's real young. When he was a teenager, we got a couple pictures. But anyway, this picture of my dad herding the sheep in front of the house when he was, I don't know, 6 or 7 is about the only picture we have of him as a kid, actually on the farm. Just like we farm with tractors, and I was a tractor enthusiast. My dad, pictured here on a horse, I guess when he was about 14, 15 years old, was a horse enthusiast. He was interested in getting into doing some horse racing with the trotters. That's horses that pull the little two-wheeled cart behind them in the race. But he didn't get the chance to do that when he was 16. My grandfather was injured with a pretty bad broken leg, and Dad had to take over the farm, going to school a half a day, and then farming day in the afternoon, and took a good while for my grandfather to heal up right, so Dad never got a chance to live out his dream of doing some trotter racing. I think that maybe is one of the reasons he let me or encouraged me to do what I did with the tractor pulling. There's another picture I wish I had found showing in the history of our farm video, showing Dad getting ready to do, these are bundles of tobacco. It's a tobacco barn behind him, and I guess he's getting ready to put them on a basket. Here's a picture of our farm I found, unfortunately, after I did the other video. I know we had a couple of pictures that were views from this angle. They always like to seem to go out in that field and take a picture from this perspective. But anyhow, this one was right after the silo was put up. You can tell by how white that silo looks. It hadn't got any moss or lichens growing on it yet. And there's the old blower. There was also a chopper. This was back when they would cut the corn in the field. This is in 1955. They would cut the corn and haul it back and feed it in stalk by stalk into the chopper and blower. And this is them going back out in the field. That's the old case right there with Dad on it. And I don't know who that is on the wagon. These trees that are in the yard are mimosa trees, and these big ones back here are paradise trees. If you look real close, you can see my grandfather on the cleat track. Just got past the garage there. He's on the cleat track. So they're going out in the field to get some more corn stalks. Come back and put them in the silo. Yep. This is an old picture of 520 to Pop and Johnny pulling the grain drill. Got a couple of my cousins and one of my sisters standing on the back there. That's my dad behind the whole outfit there. Yeah, it's wonderful as a farm kid to be able to ride on the back of the piece of equipment, round and round the field. You never seem to grow tired of it. Yeah, it's a picture of me when I was about 2, sitting on the Poppin' Johnny. Yep. Yeah, I am out in the garden hoeing some corn. At least I have a hoe in my hand. I doubt if I was doing much good. There's a very happy, smiling, I don't know, 3-year-old Mr. Bill Grimes on his John Deere 60 pedal tractor. That was old when he was a kid. He got it from some of his older cousins, and his dad repaired it by hammering some rubber from some other tricycle tire or something on some of the rims that was missing some tread. Anyhow, had a lot of fun on that thing. Still got it. It's a picture of my sister on the same pedal tractor, but that was before it was given to us. It was before I was born. I guess they're over at my cousin's house at some event in 1959. We had this really old wagon. Still got the wagon. It's in a little bit of disrepair. It's me and one of the children of a tenant farmer that we had. They were from Tennessee. Tiger was what he was called. And we did have a little bit of snow back then. Of course, we still get snow. This is a good picture of me playing with my toys down there in the dirt. Doing some play farming, no doubt. Toys play a big role in a farm boy's life. Over at my cousin's farm, just a mile down the road, riding one of their ponies who had just foaled. And this was Christmas morning of 1971. Dad and I out there practicing shooting my BB gun that he got me. Hey, we're visiting a friend's farm. They were up there in more western Maryland. I believe their name was Montgomery. They were up there in close to Frederick, Maryland. I'm kind of hiding a little bit on the right hand side there behind the table. That's the farm sign we had for a lot of years. It got stolen once or twice. Came back once. Somebody saw it about 70 miles away at a antique auction. Thought we had sold the farm. Somebody's got it somewhere. Anyway, here's a picture of a couple of toys. I had the 40, well, it's really 30-20. But I always pretended it was a 40-20. We had put duals on that, and then the 1456 cab broke and took that off there. I didn't care. It's easier to play with without the cab on it anyhow. One day it just wasn't there anymore. Never knew what happened to it. I figure I was not careful about putting it away, and it got run over by a tractor or something, and my dad just threw it away. I guess, I don't know. I never asked any questions. I kind of thought that's maybe what happened. He didn't want me to be upset, or he didn't want to have to take the blame. I don't know. That may not be what happened, but that's what I thought. And this is me at 12 years old on 520 Poppin' Johnny. I just put a paint job on it and new decals and stuff. And working with tractors and equipment and keeping them in good repair, and even doing some restoration work on some of your equipment is a part of the life of kids growing up on the farm. Here we are out back of my high school there by the tractor, that A that I put the turbo on. This is our part of our FFA chapter. We had just got back from a competition. I think we had won a couple of awards. One of them was for excellence in mechanical knowledge or something like that. Anyway, I had been in 4-H when I was younger, and like most farm boys, when I was in high school, we joined up with the Future Farmers group. This is one of my John Deere toys I had when I was a kid. Restored it, and it's been played with a little bit since then. But it was a heck of a job to restore. It was the only one I had left of my toys when I was a kid, and I realized that, hey, I'd like to restore this. But in my younger and foolisher times, I had tried to convert this thing into one of those little micro mini pulling tractors. In other words, I cut the whole engine out, cut the oil pan thing there, cut the engine out on this side too. And you know, for that class of micro mini tractors, you fit a little model airplane engine in there, and I had only gotten as far as cutting it up. Oh, and I had put a couple holes up here for the fuel tank, and I had really messed it up. So I had to actually took some Bondo and made mold from another tractor that I had that I don't think was one of my originals, for both sides of the engine and the oil pan. And then I took put some JB Weld in there and waited until that solidified up, and that's what these are made of, JB Weld. And I plugged up the holes that I drilled in the hood with JB Weld, and there you go. It's a lot of work. I don't know why. But, these tires here, I think I originally had the narrower tires on it. I had these wider ones from another thing, and if you look real close, you can see holes in it. There's one right there, and one right there. That's from I wanted duals on one of my tractors, and my dad, he said he knew how to do it. He didn't need to make a longer axle. I had some these tires off another old one that got all broke up, and he just laid them on there and then took 2 finishing nails and nailed them to the other side. I had a tractor with duals. And that's the one that's in that picture I showed. Oh my. And I also had one of these. This isn't the one, because as you could see in that picture, the cab was gone off of it. I bought this one. It's in similar shape off of eBay, just because I wanted to have one. I just wanted to have one like I used to have when I was a kid. So this is like mine, except mine didn't have a chrome stack on it. And I had lost the air cleaner, and I think I had stuck a carriage bolt in there, which worked just as good. This case is one that I had when I was a kid that I restored here, I don't know, 20 years ago or so. Added the stack on there. But one of the side of the hitch had been broke off, and I kind of fixed that up with JB Weld and made it look like it was still the original cast, and painted them up and everything. Now, when I was playing with it, of course, it didn't look like that. When I was playing with it, it had this old loader, or International loader. This is another. This one I restored is a 1030. This one's a 930. But I bought it off of eBay because it just looked like it was in similar shape as the one I finished playing with my other one that I'd restored. Anyhow, this is the loader I had when I was a kid. But in this tractor here, like I say, it's got about the right patina on it for what mine looked like when I restored it. Of course, I had a bunch of stuff like these old wagons. This is not the wagon that I had, but it's like the ones I had. I was too hard on them, or I don't know why. I went through a phase where I would like to bury stuff. It was lost forever after I buried it. But I had a barge wagon like that, and also had some other things like a silage wagon and a couple different things. Had a plow and manure spreader, and wish I could find them all, but I'm just glad I got some of these that I have. Of course, when I was a kid, the hours and hours I spent looking through this John Deere toy catalog. I wish I could have had everything in it, but except maybe that girl. The toys I would like to have. I wasn't interested in girls yet. Pedal tractors. I always thought that was neat, the lawn and garden pedal tractor thing. Pretty nifty. Never cared too much for the snowmobiles. The four-wheel drive tractor, 7520. Yeah, I would like to have that, but it was too expensive back then. No, I'd never have one. Did years and years later get one of these when I was, I don't know, almost too old to play with it, but I ended up getting one. The 430. I had a disc. Still got what's left of it downstairs. I didn't have a 5020 when I was a kid. I have one now, but was the combine. Never had one of them. It's pretty neat. Yeah, that's a little set we had. Had that set. A neighbor had one of them. And there's some construction equipment. I didn't remember they had so much. Yep. Yeah, this is a little catalog. It's from the early 70s. Yep. A lot of construction equipment there. There's the tractors and oh, the John Deere loader. Oh man, did I want one of them. Never did get one. Never did get one. Big manure spreader. My neighbor had one, the land scraper. Corn planter. The haying equipment. Yeah, I had one of them boxes. And one of those. And I had an International plow instead of a John Deere plow. My neighbor had the John Deere plow. Steve did. Of course, there was the sets you could buy all together. And that there is the John Deere Action Toy Catalog from the early 70s. Yeah, farm toys are very important. It's a very important part of your life when you're growing up on the farm. And I had quite a few of them. Got just a couple left. But glad I got them. They're fun to restore too. Easier than the big ones. But anyhow, it's kind of a little bit of growing up from a perspective of a kid growing up on the farm. Hope you get some enjoyment out of it. I'll catch you next time for another video. We'll see you. Bye. Southern Maryland Dirt Farmers Channel is a variety show. If you don't like a video I put up, just wait till the next one comes up. You'll probably find something you like it. But there's going to be a mix. Ain't everybody going to like everything. I make no apologies about that. It's just the way it is. But anyhow, enough editorializing. Well, I wonder who keeps putting up a thumbs down or don't like on all, not all of them, but like 75% of my videos. Some joker puts a thumbs down. Who are you? Why are you doing that? Cut it out, will you? Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Can't, like I say, can't everybody like everything. But you don't need to unsubscribe if I put up something you don't like. I'm going to put up something you do like here later on.